Hello and welcome back to Outsiders and our weekly, not wokely, look at American politics. I'm James Morrow, and I'm joined at the desk, as always, by the ridiculously revelatory Rowan Dean and the impossibly personable Rita Panahi. Now, I know it's Sunday. The last thing I want to do is make you choke on your Bellini. But I need you right now to cast your mind back to 2016 when Hillary Clinton was trying to convince us that Donald Trump wasn't the sort of level-headed fellow you'd want with his finger on the metaphorical button. Have a listen to what she said back then.
A man you can bait with a tweet is not a man we can trust with nuclear weapons.
Sorry about that, but oh, how they cheered. And if Hillary was worried about a president who could be baited with a tweet from a foreign leader, though, I have to wonder what she'd make of one who can't take a bit of heat from an ordinary American citizen. Have a look at what happened in Iowa this week when Joe Biden, who is right now the Democrats' best shot at the moment, encountered a voter who wanted a bit more clarity about his son Hunter's business dealings in the Ukraine and whether or not he was selling access to Barack Obama when Biden was himself vice president.
But you, on the other hand, sent your son over there, get a job and work for a gas company that you had no experience in gas or nothing, in order to get access to the president. So you're selling access to the president just like he is. So
You're a damn liar, man. That's not true. And no one has ever said that. No one has heard that.
I see it on the TV.
You see it on the TV. No, I know you do. And by the way, that's why I'm not sedentary. I get up and no, let him go. Get your words straight, Jack.
That's what I hear on MSNBC.
You don't hear that on MSNBC. You did not hear that at all. What you heard, look, okay, I'm not going to get in an argument with you, man.
Well, I don't want to.
Well, yeah, you do, but look, Fat, look, here's the deal.
Look, fat? Did you hear that? Biden actually fat-shamed the guy. Now, I mean, real mature, grown-up, I can be president one day skills you're showing there, Uncle Joe. Seriously, this guy wants to be president, and yet he blows up at a voter who asks him a pretty legitimate question and even calls him fat? Look, there are serious issues around just what sort of access the Ukrainians thought they were buying through Biden's son Hunter, an unqualified failure whose most notable life achievement to date was getting kicked out of the Navy for cocaine. Indeed, given that Hunter was also hiding out from a subpoena demanding his DNA for a paternity test, and yes, by the way, he was the father, at the same time he was on the take from the Ukrainians, maybe we should call him Chicken Kiev. But anyway, back to Joe. Biden is currently the favorite to win the Democratic nomination, and he can't cope with a tough question from voters. Mark my words, guys, this will go down as a defining moment of the Biden campaign. Getting into scraps with members of the public is never good for any candidate, and a candidate as thin-skinned as Biden is sure to have many more such ding-dongs in the weeks and months to come as the campaign takes its toll. Trump, for all the criticisms of his outsized ego, has the hide of a rhinoceros compared to Biden. Biden, on the other hand, is showing himself to not only be often unable to remember where he is, but also unable to control his temper. At the same time, Elizabeth Warren, sinking in the polls and attempting to shore herself up with her base by competing with Bernie Sanders over who can propose the most expensive loony left utopia. Kamala Harris is out of the race, and Pete Buttigieg, while popular with coastal city dwellers whose only holy obligation on Sunday is brunch, is, at age 37, too young and too inexperienced to be taken seriously in the long run. And nanny state China apologist Mike Bloomberg candidacy? Well, he's generated about as much enthusiasm as a case of scabies. You get why the Democrats are so keen on impeachment over sitting any one of these chuckleheads up against Trump in November's general election. Which brings us back to Hillary Clinton. And this week she dropped yet another hint that she's thinking about going again against the Donald, telling British interviewer Graham Norton that she hadn't ruled it out, but that, quote, I'd have to make up my mind really quickly because it's moving very fast. I've always said that when push comes to shove, she'd put her hand up. Her ego won't let her watch a Biden or a Sanders or a Buttigieg go down in flames. And after Joe Biden's latest catastrophe, she's going to be all the more tempted to say, no, That's an honor that belongs to me. So hell of a week for Joe Biden here, just going to voters, having a big fight with everybody.
I disagree with you on this. I don't
Okay.
think this is a disaster for him. I think actually it might earn him a little bit of respect from some quarters, that he's willing to have a go, he's willing to duke it out. He even challenged this guy to a push-up contest in that exchange. It was quite extraordinary.